Well, the Iran story takes a turn no one can fully explain now. President Trump says, you ready for this? The war is won. He says Iran offered a significant prize, a big, beautiful prize. He says negotiations are productive. Okay, you got that? You got that? Iran says none of it's true. They say there are no talks, there are no concessions, and there's zero progress. They call the U.S. proposal as unreasonable. And then it gets really strange. We got Pakistan, Egypt, and Turkey. They suddenly step in as mediators. Now, they provide Iran with a 15-point U.S. plan. Okay. Now, Iran comes back and says, you know what? We'd rather negotiate directly with Vice President J.D. Vance. No more Trump envoys. That means no more Jared Kushner. Now, meanwhile, missiles are still flying. Israel striking Tehran and Beirut. The U.S. is deploying thousands more ground troops. Strait of Hormuz, we've talked about this. That's turning into a humanitarian disaster. It's the part of the story where the facts don't line up, folks. The timelines don't match, and the truth is buried under layers of political spin. The contradictions chapter, which is what I'm talking about now, where the war should be slowing down, but instead becomes more confusing, more dangerous, and now it's more unpredictable than ever before. Welcome to the Joe Rossano Show. Well, my dear friends and fellow Americans, tonight we're stepping into the fog, the part of the Iran crisis where every side claims victory. Every side denies the other's story, and the world is left trying to figure out who's telling the truth and who isn't. Okay, first we did the spark, then we did the escalation. Now we're into the confusion. The moment where diplomacy, politics, and war are smashing together. Now, before I get into all the details, as always, if you're a truth seeker, if you like nonfiction, which is exactly what you get here on the Joe Rossano Show, if I could kindly ask, please click the subscribe button, comment, like, share with your friends, click the notification bell for our latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show. So we've won this, or have we? Well, President Trump, he says we won the war. This war has been won. You remember that one? Remember George W. Bush, mission accomplished? Well, I hope that's not a repeat. Okay. He says Iran offered a significant prize. Okay. Now, again, I've said this before, Donald Trump isn't Ronald Reagan. Okay. And he uses terms like Iran has offered a significant prize. Can you imagine that, folks? So the U.S. has all but sunk all of Iranian naval vessels. Okay. They're at the bottom of the Persian Gulf. He's been bombing their country now for 2 weeks. And Iran has offered a significant prize, big, beautiful prize. He says talks are very productive, but Iran, as mentioned, they say that they're not talking. There is no concessions whatsoever, and there's zero progress. Okay. And they said there's certainly no prize. Okay. So there's two different realities. We got one crisis, we got zero. And let me say again, zero clarity. Okay. The 15-point plan that the U.S. has proposed through Pakistan, Egypt, and Turkey, Iran's response, unreasonable. It's not positive. So the plan that was supposed to end the war, instead, both sides are completely opposed and further apart than ever. Okay. Now, Iran wants to negotiate. Okay. But they don't want to talk to Trump's team anymore. No more Jared Kushner. They don't want any more of that. Okay. In this twist, okay, Iranian officials are saying, hey, you know what? We want to talk to J.D. Vance. Maybe they think they'll get more progress. He seems like a reasonable enough fella. Now, that's not normal diplomacy. And, you know, it does kind of put a major crack in the negotiation process. But, hey, you know, anything to simmer things down, okay? And the war is supposed to slow down, okay? I mean, both sides are talking about peace, okay? But every time you turn around, Israel's striking Tehran. Iran fires missiles that trigger alarms into Israel, all over Israel. That's all you can hear are bombing alarms. Okay. Israel is now pushing deeper into Lebanon, and the U.S. have just sent the 82nd Airborne, thousands more troops to the Middle East. One of America's greatest fighting forces is now on their way. Okay. It's not a war that's winding down, is it, folks? It's a war that seems to be widening. The Strait of Hormuz, don't get me started. 20% of the world's energy travels through there, and now it's a humanitarian emergency. 20,000 seafarers are stranded. 2,000 ships, 2,000 vessels are stuck. Insurance companies are refusing coverage. Now they're calling for a humanitarian corridor. This is where the conflict becomes global. There's an energy shock. Fallout hits the world economy. Gas prices are spiking. Okay. Crude oil swinging violently. The Philippines, okay, they declared a national emergency, a national energy emergency. That's the ripple effect. Part of the story that touches every country. The nuclear question now. Israel strikes the Bushehr nuclear plant. Okay. Bushehr nuclear plant. Israel claims Iran can no longer enrich uranium, but experts say the damage is unclear. And Iran says the program is still intact. So again, we keep getting different sides of the story. It's like, again, who is telling the truth? Who isn't? Seriously. The U.S. says the war's won. Iran says the talks aren't even happening. 15-point plans delivered and rejected. Missiles flying all over the place. Troops are deploying. The 82nd Airborne now is on its way to the Middle East, and the world keeps holding its breath. And that's the thing about President Trump. I'm always going to get back to this. Iran has offered some big, beautiful prize now. Okay, a prize. What's the prize, Mr. President? Seriously, what's the prize? Iran's going to give President Trump a prize. You imagine that? I'm going to get back to this. Okay, Israel. It's been said, okay, and reported that Israel has too much influence over the United States. So some say, and this is certainly possible, that because Israel, again, come hell or high water, was going to strike Iran, Iran was going to fire missiles at U.S. air bases. So the U.S. had to get in lockstep with Israel to bomb Iran. And now look where we are. Now you got the 82nd Airborne on their way there. I mean, what's next? You don't want ground troops in there. Regime change does not look likely. It does not look like the people are rising up for some kind of a coup. So that's not going to happen. So we're back to negotiating with the mullahs. But good news, they did offer a big, beautiful prize. So again, at the end of the day, folks, it's more confusing now than it's ever been. I will be back tomorrow. Your questions and comments, you want to tune in for that. Don't forget to adopt a pet. God bless you. See you next time. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this type of content, please kindly hit the subscribe button, like, share, comment, click the notification bell for all latest episodes of The Joe Rossano Show.